From unexpected performances to sick comebacks, NBA has it all. And today we bring you the 10 coldest ankle breakers in NBA history. So make sure you keep watching. Let's begin. Number 1. Allen Iverson vs. Michael Jordan. Back in '97, Allen Iverson was killing it in the NBA as a young talent. And in a game against the Chicago Bulls, he faced off against the one and only Michael Jordan. Everyone was hyped to see these two basketball legends go head-to-head. But what happened next was straight up insane. Iverson hit Jordan with a crossover that was so slick and fast that Jordan couldn't keep his balance and fell hard to the ground. The whole crowd was shook as they watched Jordan struggle to get back up. Meanwhile, Iverson seized the moment and scored a point, causing the arena to go wild. This was a major moment in Iverson's career. It proved to everyone that he had the skills and confidence to take on the best in the game. And for fans, it was a sign that a new generation of basketball players was ready to dominate the league. His ankle breaker really is one of the coldest in NBA history. Number 2. Tim Hardaway vs. Byron Scott. Way back in 1991, the Golden State Warriors were face-to-face with the Los Angeles Lakers, and that meant that two titans would be in a clash in this insane game. Tim Hardaway and Byron Scott. Fans were pretty excited to see how this would turn out, and this was no ordinary game, because Hardaway had to beat Scott, so he made the craziest move. Hardaway pulled off a double crossover move, and he did it in the smoothest, most sickest way possible. Scott was not prepared for this, and before he could even react, he was on the ground. Number 3. Kyrie Irving vs. Brandon Knight. Kyrie Irving really had his best game face on back in 2013 when the Cleveland Cavaliers were playing against the Detroit Pistons, and Irving had his eyes fixed on Brandon Knight. It was pretty clear that he wanted something and wouldn't stop till he had it. So as soon as Irving had the ball, he used this chance to the fullest and hit Knight with a crazy crossover. Knight had no idea what was coming, so his feet couldn't keep up. Before anyone could figure out what was going on, Knight was on the ground. The fans went crazy and everyone loved this insane super fast move. But Irving acted like it was no big deal. But we all know he was pretty proud of pulling off one of the coldest ankle breakers in the history of NBA. Number 4. Steph Curry vs. Chris Paul. Chris Paul was leading the Clips in 2015 in a game against the Golden State Warriors. And it was a pretty intense matchup even before any ankles broke. But Curry was also on fire that day, and he hit CP3 with an insane crossover which the poor guy wasn't ready for. Paul had no clue what was coming, and he was so shook he couldn't even keep his balance and hit the ground. The overall defense of the Clippers was trying their best to stop Curry, but boy, he was unstoppable that day. It really took a while for CP3 to recover and realize what even happened, and Curry took full benefit of that by throwing the ball in the basket. The crowd went crazy, and this crossover went down in history. Number 5. Jamal Crawford vs. Ray Allen. In 2005, when the New York Knicks were face-to-face with the Seattle Supersonics, Jamal Crawford really gave poor Allen a tough time. It was like he was ready to make history that day, and as soon as he got the ball, he knew this was his chance. Allen was in the zone, ready to defend, but Crawford came dribbling, and in a matter of seconds, he changed his direction, leaving Allen's feet pretty confused. And that's not it, guys. Crawford then hit Allen with another crossover, and Allen, who had survived the previous one, stumbled hard this time. With that, Crawford's ball went straight into the basket. The crowd was amazed by what they had just witnessed. As for poor Ray Allen, let's just say he'll never forget the day Jamal Crawford made him look like a complete fool on the court. Number 6. Derrick Rose vs. Andre Miller. During the Chicago Bulls vs. Portland Trail Blazers game in 2010, Derrick Rose was ready to unleash his signature moves, and Andre Miller was the unlucky dude who had to guard him. Rose knew he had to make his move quick, so he hit Miller with a crossover that was ice cold. Miller tried to keep up, but he was moving pretty slow. It was like he was trying to run on ice. His feet just wouldn't cooperate. As Rose made the crossover, Miller really couldn't keep up and lost his balance, falling to the ground. It was almost too easy for Rose, like he was playing against a rookie. He calmly sank the ball into the basket like it was no big deal, and the crowd went wild. Meanwhile, Miller was laying there on the court looking like a turtle stuck on its back, and it really looked like Rose knew that he had just pulled off one of the coldest crossovers in NBA history. Number 7. Tracy McGrady vs. Shawn Bradley. Back in 2005, when Tracy McGrady was playing for the Houston Rockets, they faced off against the Dallas Mavericks. McGrady was known for his flashy moves, and he did not disappoint that day. With the ball in his hand, he sized up Shawn Bradley, who was determined to stop him. But as McGrady made his move, it was like he was in a different dimension. He hit Bradley with a lethal crossover. Bradley's feet were left in a tangle as he fell to the ground. The sound of the crowd cheering was like music to McGrady's ears as he soared past Bradley with ease, scoring an easy point. It was an ankle break that will go down in history as one of the coldest of all time. If there was a warning label for McGrady's crossover, it would read, "Proceed with caution. Ankle breaking moves ahead." Number 8. Allen Iverson vs. Antonio Daniels. Back in 2005, the Philadelphia 76ers were up against the Seattle Supersonics, and Allen Iverson was in the zone. He was dribbling the ball down the court like a madman, and Antonio Daniels was trying to guard him. But Iverson had a trick up his sleeve. He faked left, then crossed over to the right so quickly that Daniels' ankles were left in the dust. It was like Iverson had a secret pair of scissors in his shoes that he used to cut Daniels' ankles right out from under him. Daniels went down while Iverson scored an easy layup. The crowd went wild, and even the Supersonics fans had to admit that they had just witnessed a thing of beauty. Number 9. James Harden vs. Wesley Johnson. In 2018, the Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Clippers faced off in an intense game that had everyone on the edge of their seats. But it was James Harden who stole the show with a move that left everyone in the arena completely stunned. As Harden approached Wesley Johnson, he seemed to slow down for just a second, almost as if he was teasing him. Then in one swift motion, he crossed the ball over to his other hand, sending Johnson stumbling backward. My man, the beard has turned into a real killer. But that was just the beginning. Harden continued his dribble, taking a few steps back as Johnson desperately tried to regain his balance. And like a pro who's been playing for years, Harden stared at Johnson while calmly scoring a three-pointer. It was a move that was so savage it even made the Clippers bench erupt in laughter. Replay of the crossover was shown on every sports network for weeks afterwards. If you want to extinguish a reputation, call the beard without problem. Number 10. Kobe Bryant vs. Chris Childs. For our last case back in 2000, the Los Angeles Lakers were facing off against the New York Knicks when Kobe Bryant pulled off an incredible move against Chris Childs. With a butcher's crossover, he left Childs stumbling backwards. But the play didn't end there. Childs, feeling humiliated, decided to throw not one, but 2 punches at Kobe. Fortunately, neither punch connected with his target. It was a shocking moment to say the least. Seeing a player react with such violence after being embarrassed on the court is not something you see every day. So which ankle breaker do you think is the most iconic? Tell us in the comments below. And for everything NBA related, make sure you hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. See you in the next video.